I'll touch on that later. Anyways, great place to put promo
Later.
music, blah, blah, blah. Here's our promo stuff and who we are, what we are, blah, blah, blah. Thing I want to bring up, and it just occurred to me as we were talking about stuff being kind of scummy. Did you see it? Face of Horror's back?
What? Wait, Face of Horror. Face of Horror. It rings a bell.
You know that
Rings
contest
a
with
bell.
Kane Hodder, Bill.
Oh yeah.
Bill's house. I was into it until I started to see how scummy it was, and I'm like, ooh. And I love it because a lot of people don't even know who won it. And the girl who won it, if you see her pictures, you'll understand why nobody knows who it was, because she bought all of her votes, which is something you could have done anyway in the contest. So was it really a contest? And yeah, it went for charity, but even then, it just seems it's scummy. But anyways, we'll touch on it here in a second.
Anyway, cue the theme music or the dramatic pause.
Pause, yes. Insert clip here.
Whatever.
Insert tab
Oh,
A, slot B. But anyway.
Oh God, this is gonna go up on OnlyFans and everywhere else. I have. Is this an official? Do the intro real quick, and we'll get into it. While I do the intro. Do the intro of who we are.
All right. So I'm, as always, Miss Sasha Constantine Monroe, a.k.a. Sasha, the Princess of Darkness. And to my left or my right, or depending on how your screen pops up, is the madman himself, Christopher Lumser, a.k.a. Reverend Godfather of the Long Coat Mafia podcast. But today you are listening to Sasha After Dark, the podcast of darkness.
The reason why I'm trying to recover is because that's one of the things I made my ex pretty much laugh almost hysterically, because I referred to it as like, listen, because I've said many times before, she was a victim of SA. I'll put it like that for everybody on YouTube and all that. And I told her one night when we were having...
It's called that. It just reminds me of being back in high school and being assigned an essay. You have to write a 3-paragraph essay on the old man.
But the thing is, what do you think YouTube is? High school. And I told her, listen, whenever you were ready to have me put my tab A into your slot B, and all of a sudden she just went into hysterics. She's like, I never heard it called like that. Like, got you laughing, didn't it? This is also someone who thought, not me, her, that the whole Kama Sutra was a massage manual, a massage book, and my response, I was like, my response to that was, yeah, kind of is, isn't it? When you want to look at it that way, it is, isn't it?
It's a sensual magic massage. Yes. Everybody gets a happy.
Me, the dumb. It's sad when the dumbass is pretty much more street smart than her. Yeah.
No, you just were sheltered.
I was more sheltered, and probably I had better friends. Let me put it like that. And if she ever stumbles across this, I know she'll get it, but Sasha will. You'll never learn, will you?
So, anyways, big news today. Speaking of scams being scammy and everything love being bullshit, Face of Horror's back again. So if you love social media, you might want to kind of block anybody who's, or at least temporary block them who's posting anything on Face of Horror. And I know there's a lot of people who's like, who won this last year? I mean, you can look her up. It's not my cup of tea,
but I'm familiar from it happening last year. I got bombarded, like, I don't know about Sasha, 10 ways from Sunday on Facebook, Messenger, the whole 9 yards. it's not just Face of Horror that does this. I've had folks, heck, in a way, my cousin in a little bit is kind of guilty of it because you'll see. The reason why I say she's guilty, I won't say guilty of it because she had a couple of photos. It's the same goddamn premise.
Yeah.
Either way, she submitted a couple of photos for a local paper to be judged, and the winner gets, a certain prize or something like that.
Right.
And people could vote, family, friends, whatever. Let you family and friends. It's the same premise. Family and friends can vote on it, but if you want, you can buy additional votes for as little as $1 extra vote, or like say 6 votes or 8 votes for $5, 20 votes for $10. All the proceeds go to charity. Now,
The Andrew B. Foundation, by the way, which you can donate to on your own accord and directly, and you don't have to deal with the scumminess of this content.
Let me put it like this: they may, whether it be a local newspaper or the Face of Horror, whether or not they actually donate to charity, they might actually donate to charity. The reason why I'm wording it like that is because earlier this year, I'm not sure if Sasha is familiar with the drama or the controversy. You had a lot of the main sponsor for a lot of YouTubers earlier this year was this company that you could buy a 1 foot by 1 foot or 1 meter by 1 meter square of land in Scotland to become a lord or lady. And you could have a certificate mailed to you saying that you could be declared a lord or lady. It turned out that not only was that a scam because you didn't own any land in Scotland. That's number one. Because it went against everything that is in Scottish law to become a lord or lady, number one. Number two, a couple of their promos that were read and on their site said, oh, we'll plant a tree for everybody that buys, and some of the money will be donated to this charity. Yeah, they donated once, like a few years ago, and that was it. It was something along those lines. I'm not, again, yeah, a local charity, local paper might donate to the United Way or to a local homeless shelter or whatever. I'm not sure, but we're not accusing them of just scamming money out. It's just the whole aspect of I'll say this: it's one thing to say, hey, we're raising money to help a lot of, let's say, the local homeless shelter, and in the process to raise funds, we're holding this contest for, hey, so don't submit your local, your cutest puppy picture of your doggo, and the winner gets a gift card for this local restaurant. You could vote, for free, but if you want to buy those votes, again, the proceeds will go to the charity. We're doing it to raise attention to this charity, so forth and so on. That's one thing. But to kind of make it sound like it's a side thing is what may come across a scam or iffy to some people. And the fact that it's pushed, and they keep pushing folks, or they might tell folks, or they tell to keep pushing that you got to have more votes, or they might tell, because they might get tens of thousands of people with Face of Horror in regards to this. Oh, you're in the top 10 in your area.
Yep.
And in order to get out of that top 10, or in the top 3 to move to the next level, keep pushing those votes, kiddos, ladies and gentlemen. And when they go to vote for you, if you're on a tight budget, you could buy 5 more votes or 10 more votes for X number of dollars. And by the way, it sometimes, depending on the place you go to, I don't know if Face of Horror, I'll put it like this. It's been a while since I went to that site, Face of Horror, so I don't know if it's in the forefront or kind of hidden away somewhere that the funds go to charity.
What made Face of Horror very, very complex and stupid for some people is, so let's say you took advantage of a free vote because everyone got a free vote within a 24-hour period. They were second checking that like free vote. So if you spot on at 3 p.m. submitted a vote in, if you're going to make your next vote, you have this very tiny window from 3 p.m. afterwards to get that vote in. Otherwise, you kind of missed your window for that 24-hour period, and it cycles over to the other 24-hour period. And it's like, that's kind of bullshit, because like, how many people check their watch to make sure that they're voting exactly, 24 hours to the second from the last time that they voted? So that was confusing because people will go to the website. Well, I did this after work the other day, and here they might have did it at 3:05, and today they're on there at like 2:55 or right at 3 p.m. And it's like, oh no, you still have 24 hours. And it's like, no, technically they only have like 5 or 10 minutes until they can vote again. But they wouldn't tell them that. They would tell them you still have 24 hours before you can vote again, because nobody was keeping track of the precise time. And so that kind of fucked people up. I mean, if it would have been told, hey, you can't vote again until 3 p.m. at this time, then they would have been fine. But that was not communicated. And so people immediately went to the scummy and the fraud side of it. Secondly, they didn't clearly communicate. Like, I had to dig to find out that it went to the Andrew B. B Plus Foundation, which is a reputable foundation, but only a small percentage of it went to that, because a lot of the money went into paying Kane Hodder's salary, who was doing the pictures, went into paying Buffalo Bill's house where the pictures were going to be taken. And then finally, because Rue Morgue was plugging it, and they were going to put the spreadsheet in Rue Morgue magazine, obviously they had to pay for that ad space in Rue Morgue, which to me kind of makes me less prone to reading Rue Morgue, but that magazine's hard to get stateside anyway, let alone if you want to get it stateside at all,
Or that sounds print. Like there's a magazine in the West Virginia Panhandle that is kind of available in the Panhandle or maybe surrounding sections, meaning if you went to Hagerstown, you might find it there in some location. And they have a section that takes up, like, maybe we're talking again to use the handy dandy cookbook as a analog. Instead of having like 2 or 3 pages, it's like that much of the magazine. It's there. That's their featured article and their featured thing. I asked them one day, it's like, what's it take to be featured in your magazine? Oh, you pay us like $8,000. I think at the time it might have been 6. Like between $6,000 and $8,000. You get a full page ad on the back of the magazine for X amount of time, and then you get featured in the magazine. Well, I can understand if, since the back part of the magazine might be prime advertising space, then instead of, my point is like, that's shitty, that's scummy, because granted, again, back part is prime space. I get that, it costs more, but to limit that featured section for somebody who paid you is stupid. It makes things even more scummy. And I didn't tell them that, but that's how, to me, it's like, what if there's somebody that just let's say they're kind of phrase from Philip DeFranco, Banff of the week, somebody that, house is burning, he or she ran in, rescued everybody, pulled out, and helped them save a lot of their stuff. rescue, and the kids that are in there were not like little, like 5, 10-year-olds. These were infants that he helped save and kept alive until medics came in. In essence, that's somebody you want to feature in this.
Yeah.
Or a new event that's happening in your area that needs those pages. Whether, let's say, 4-State coming to, the West Virginia Panhandle and having something here, you want, that in there. But
Right.
no, because, a company like 4-State or me or you is not actively paying them $6,000, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it.
And that's how a lot of this media out there works. Now, Room Warden, I think it's out of Canada. But they're a very genre focused magazine. Like, I'm aware of them. I've read them a good bit. And the thing of it is with Room Org, I've seen them do these type of contests before, but they don't do it all the time. But it just doesn't, like, when I'm reading the magazine, I'm reading it for articles, interviews, things of that nature. Like, if I'm reading Horror Hound, that's what I'm there for. Not to look at a spreadsheet of somebody who paid to model with Kane Hodder in lingerie that probably shouldn't be wearing lingerie at all. Ah, my eyes.
And that's the thing. It's like, if you have the money to do it and that you want to boost yourself to win, you're robbing
Then
folks
just donate to the actual charity.
Yeah, just donate to the actual charity. And I think at that time it makes it a little beyond that. I think last year a mutual friend of ours is one of the ones that first said, "This sounds scummy, this, that," and I agreed with him.
Yep,
because
Chris,
but I agreed with him, Scott. Let's say if you had a social media following of upwards of several million people, you have access to have those people vote for you. Therefore, chances for somebody, an average John or Jane Doe, is going to go down. Now, mind you, when it comes to social media, most people don't tell you if you have 1 million followers or subscribers, you're not going to get, does not translate to 1 million people looking at you. That's just your follower count. Good chance, if you're lucky, you're going to get 10% of that, which it might be, if you have 1 million followers, you're going to get maybe 100,000 people seeing your stuff at all. If not, if you're somebody like me, you're going to be lucky to get 1% viewing your stuff. And but again, my point is, if you have that high following, would be 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million folks across your platforms, you're going to have that bigger content. You're going to have more people sharing your stuff, more people having eyes on it and voting for you. And that makes it sad. Not to mention, if you have that one person, that one friend that has money, you know what? I'm going to spend $10,000, $100 every day to vote for this person. And those votes are going to add up. Meaning, if Sasha has a friend that has a couple of $1 million to spend, and that person, I know you wish, right?
I wish.
But it's the point I'm trying to make. Sasha doesn't need a following of 1 million people. She just has that one person that's capable of spending that kind of cash on a daily basis to keep her in the rankings, if not exceed the rankings that she's so far ahead of everybody else. Nobody's going to catch up. Meaning, if I'm running against her, I'm not going to catch up to anybody vote with those voting for me, because Sasha has somebody that is spending the cash on votes for her on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So what's the point? Granted, the money's going towards charity, but if I'm in it for fun, why? Why should I do it when you have that ability and someone else is going to win because they paid to play? So,
exactly.
Sasha,
And 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 to me, it's just I'm curious at how this year's gonna go out because I think more people are keen on it. So I want to say at least a good 10 or 12 of the people that I follow or they follow me has posted about it today going, it's back. And
I haven't seen it in my feed yet. I haven't seen it, so nobody's doing it.
yeah,
At
well,
least
you
on
gotta
my end
figure
yet.
I carry a large group of horror nerds in my little niche. And as a result, a lot of them are all like, hey guys, it's back. And it's like, oh God, you know. And they mean it in a comical sense, not in a good way.
And the thing is, like last year when I was helping, not just covering but also appearing in uh the indie film Zero Z-ERO, which will be, I think, over the next month will be available to watch on YouTube. I have to double check with Matt because he's been putting that out.
Yeah.
Once that happens, I'll share that post and have people put eyes on it because I was a part of it. Half the crew on that, whether as extras or otherwise, were part of Face of Horror last year, and it was like dominant in the group chats. It was dominant on my feed. It was just annoying as hell, really annoying.
Well, speaking of Inlo, I went ahead and sent him the information just to warn him, like, hey, it's back.
Uh,
Oh God. I can't wait to see what his response is.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
So,
that's that topic. And yeah, just be warned. You're gonna see a lot of people posting about it again. But I think this go round it's gonna be more people like, well, that was a scam. Because most of the people I'm seeing commenting is, well, who won it? Who won last year? And the information's available. You have to go to like the Face of Horror, like actual Facebook page. Um, and I'm pulling it up now, and it's this chick by the name of Whiskey Tango. And you know, they stick an F on that, and you're kind of got the expression they won this, and then you realize, oh, bought all the votes, you know. Because trust me, there was some decent competitors out there. Like several horror hosts I know ran for this, and I'm shocked that not a single one of them even placed. And here, this person, even in my very niche circle, I've never heard of. You
now
know,
I will say this, kind of talking about scam or scammy stuff. As probably said in the last episode or whenever my memory has been the equivalent of a goldfish recently. So stay tuned. In regards to it, I talked about that with Sasha. That yeah, and I addressed all you out at home who are either watching or listening. That yeah, I know that I've been putting out more clips, more podcast stuff in regards to full length episodes, but not as much unboxings or where our event coverage is going to try to stay the same, but still we're keeping it at that level. But it's not that I'm cutting back on unboxings. It's just that when you're kind of having instead of having this much of income, you're now down to this. Something's got to go, and it had to be done boxings. But I still have 2 Kickstarters yet to arrive here. One should be in my hands within the next, I'll say, month. It's on its way. It's on the boat heading to the States, and that is in regards to the Dragon Eye dice. And pretty much a little more than a year, almost a year and a half ago, I put in for a Kickstarter because I play D&D, these what looked like cool looking dice that had like a dragon eye embedded in the center. Now with everything, we had to use lighter colors, we had to do this, we had to do that. why is the Chinese market getting stuff quicker than we are? What's going on? Why does it seem like one excuse after another? This, that, and another thing. I'll go more into when I get the box in my hand and go, do the whole spiel and history of it. People are not going to freaking like it, but still, I'll go into it more that way when the video drops and get the stuff. Just that it seemed for a lot of folks scummy because it was like one thing after another, one excuse after another. Kind of like what I said with the book with Adventures Awaits. See the video on our YouTube channel in regards to the story behind that and the Kickstarter behind that, and how that seemed to have a lot of excuses behind it, and how there might have been a small percentage thinking that Kickstarter was a scam. It wasn't. We got the book, we got everything else, just that there was a lot of excuses behind that as well. Nothing knocking the book. I got the book, or the author behind it, but still, it's just how long it took to get from publisher, I say author, to publisher, to it actually being in my hands. So we'll see. So what's next on the docket, dear Sasha?